How basic can we possibly be on this show?
Find out next on Junk Food.
Aw, yeah, welcome to Junk Food, the podcast about junk food, where we rate and review mystery treats to determine which one will be the undisputed champion of snacks. I'm your host, Mike. Alongside me, as always, Alyssa.
Dad.
Yeah, bud.
What do ghosts say when they're sad?
What do ghosts say when they're sad? Oh, is it boo-hoo?
No.
No?
It's boo-you.
I don't think so. Nice try.
You weren't supposed to answer.
Well, that was an easy one. Come on.
Oh.
Welcome back, everyone, to the world's yeetest podcast.
Oh, gosh. No.
Hey, look, the show's doing really well. Everybody's having a good time. We like it a lot. I really do think that this is the world's yeetest podcast, and if you do too, this is your reminder to subscribe to the show, leave a rating and a review in whatever podcast listening device that you choose. Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Liz.
Yeah.
Spooky season continues.
Yay.
Here on Junk Booed.
Oh, gosh.
You know how I can always tell that it's the Halloween season, that it's spooky season?
You're always like, junk booed.
Well,
oh,
yeah.
boo, who? Oh, junk boo again.
Well, you know what else?
What?
There's this website called Dinosaur Dracula, which is sort of like a pop culture ephemera website.
Yeah.
The guy that runs it, his name is Matt, and in the Halloween season, he starts posting these YouTube videos of like old retro nostalgic Halloween stuff, and not too long ago, he put up one where he went through an old Woolworths ad. Do you know what Woolworths is, Liz?
No.
If you imagine sort of like, I think he described it as a cross between sort of a Walgreens and a Kmart, somewhere in between, like a small department store. There was one in the mall where I grew up, and that Woolworths in the mall had a food court. Guess what they sold there?
What?
The reigning, defending, undisputed champion of snacks, popcorn. You could smell it throughout the whole mall. It was amazing.
It was probably because they had the little fans.
Oh, they might have had the little Smellitzer fans blowing the scent of freshly popped popcorn out into the mall. You know what else you can smell now, Liz?
What?
It's fall. There is a sort of a crisp energy in the air. That's a thing that people say, right? Fall crisp energy.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I've heard it before. In fact,
Yeah.
friend of the show, Yimbo, had a playlist a few years ago on his iPhone that was called the Fall Crisp Energy Playlist. And in the fall, one of the things that you can smell are the leaves that are changing colors on the trees, falling off onto the ground. Do you know what that smell is?
No.
It's death and decay. The leaves are dying and they're rotting under your feet.
Yay!
Yay! That's pretty Halloween-y, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know-
For sure.
You know what else people associate with fall smells?
Pumpkin spice.
Pumpkin spice. Scented candles and pumpkin spice, right?
Yeah.
And I think when we tried the pumpkin spice Oreos, you told me that they tasted like a candle, didn't you?
They do.
Do you know what
They taste like the Yankee candle we keep in our office.
That's right. Do you know what the number one selling Yankee candle is?
Pumpkin spice.
Well, it's close. It's Macintosh Apple, which we have downstairs in the kitchen. But right behind it is pumpkin spice. And Liz,
What?
that reminds me of our snack this week.
Same.
Up next on Junk Food, the pumpkin spice latte.
Yay.
Alyssa, what do you know about pumpkin spice lattes? You sound extremely excited for this week, and I'm saying that facetiously.
I know that you can get it at Starbucks.
You can get it at Starbucks. Do you know what pumpkin spice is in particular?
It is a mixture of spices to season a pumpkin pie.
Well, yeah, that's pretty much accurate. In fact, we have a good definition of pumpkin spice because just this year, Merriam-Webster, the people that make the dictionary, officially added the words pumpkin spice to the dictionary. And the definition that they used was, it says here, a mixture of usually cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, cloves, and often allspice that's commonly used in pumpkin pie. Liz, do you know what other word they added to the dictionary this year?
What?
Yeet!
They added it?
Yeet is in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Can you believe that?
Oh my goodness. I want to look that up later.
Yeah, I didn't look it up on purpose because I don't want to know what it really means. I just want to say it the way that I like to say it.
Oh. Okay.
Do you know there is no actual pumpkin in pumpkin pie spice itself, Liz?
Yes, we've talked about this.
Yeah, that's right. It's just the warming spices that are associated with fall. And those spices are associated with fall mostly because they were used in making pumpkin pie, and pumpkins are in season in the autumn. And it dates back, as far as we can tell, to at least 1796, to the very first American cookbook list, which was called American Cookery and was written by someone named Amelia Simmons.
Amelia Simmons.
Amelia Simmons, 1796, a recipe called Pumpkin, P-O-M-P-K-I-N, Pumpkin, I believe.
Pumpkin.
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 Yeah, that's right. The Washington Post calls pumpkin spice the starter pistol of autumn. When you start smelling pumpkin spice, you can tell that fall and spooky season is right around the corner.
Yeah. When I open the bins for our Halloween decorations, that's all I can smell.
Oh, that's right, because we keep that pumpkin spice candle in with the Halloween decorations.
Yeah, and you open it and it just all the scents come out.
Well, if I know anything about smells from watching shampoo commercials, it's that scent is tied very heavily to memory lists. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, that's what I've been told by the television. You know, the history of pumpkin spice is fairly fascinating, I think. It's really popular now, in part because the spices that make it up are cheap and readily available, but that wasn't always the case. In fact, in the not too distant past, access to Indonesia, where most of those spices were grown, was controlled by the Dutch East India Company. And the access to Indonesian islands was a closely guarded secret, partially probably because it involved a little bit of genocide. Do you know what genocide is?
No.
Okay, it's probably best that you don't, so we'll skip over that. But just know that it's a bad thing that the Dutch East India Company was doing to the people that lived in Indonesia. So as a result, things like the British mixed spice, which was similar in a lot of ways to the pumpkin spice mixture, was rare and expensive at the time. But around the 1930s, once these spices were more readily available and much cheaper, a company called McCormick started selling their own blend of pumpkin spice that you can still get on shelves in grocery stores today. Mostly this was to make it easier to flavor pumpkin pies. And the reason that people wanted to flavor more pumpkin pies was because they could make more pumpkin pies because canned pureed pumpkin had become more readily available as well.
Ew.
It does sound gross, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, today, that canned pureed pumpkin that you use to make pumpkin pies or pumpkin pie filling
Was released again today.
Well, yeah, it's around. You can get it pretty much year-round now. It's much more popular in the fall. And it's not actually pumpkin. It's really a very specially bred sweet squash variety that has much fewer fibers inside it than an actual pumpkin does. If you got a pumpkin and scooped out the insides, it would have all of these long, hard to digest fibers. Yeah, it sounds pretty gross, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, people like it for whatever reason, and Scientific American, the website, says that the smell of pumpkin spice and pumpkin pie and pumpkins reinforces our nostalgia for fall and pumpkins without actually having to eat the pumpkins themselves, because it has an association with some of the first American produce harvests. So in a way, it reinforces American patriotism. Do you feel very patriotic when you see a pumpkin?
No.
No, I don't think so either. We don't shoot pumpkins into the air on the 4th of July.
That would be so fun.
Hey, have you ever done pumpkin chunkin'?
No.
Have you ever heard of that?
No.
People build homemade trebuchets and catapults, and then they see how far they can fling pumpkins into the air.
They do that with apples at
the farm. That's right. They have an apple cannon.
Yeah.
We'll have to see who's where the closest place is that does pumpkin chunkin'. That's pretty fun to do.
I don't want to do that.
Well, you don't even want to watch?
No.
Would you care to elaborate on that? Or are you just going to say no?
Yeah, I'll just say no.
Well, nevertheless, everyone is into pumpkin spice and pumpkin pie and pumpkin spice lattes every fall. If you look at the Google search trends for pumpkin spice, they spike at the end of August every year as we move into September and the autumn. The graph of it looks wild. Liz, when I brought up pumpkins earlier, you said ooh when we talked about
I didn't say ooh.
the
I
insides
said
of pumpkins. You said ew?
Ew.
Wait, what did I say? Ooh?
You said ooh.
Ooh, and you said ew?
Ew.
There's a difference?
You're like ew. That's not how you say it.
So it's not ew.
Yeah.
And it's not ooh.
Yeah. You sound like you're saying it. You sound like you're saying emu.
Emu, like the bird.
It's not emu.
Emu.
No.
Yeah. No?
I don't know.
Emu. Look, it's okay. I don't like pumpkins either, honestly.
Okay.
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Remember when we were talking about smell being tied to memory?
Yeah.
So in preschool, we would carve jack-o'-lanterns around Halloween time. And I remember the very first time we did this, when we cut the top off of a pumpkin and they made me stick my hand inside and scoop out all the seeds and the gunk, and the smell of it was making me gag.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh.
I 3 or 4 years old, I still don't like the smell of the inside of a pumpkin. You'll notice this whenever we make jack-o'-lanterns now at home. I am nowhere near that thing when we're cutting it open.
Yeah, even though you're the one that has to cut it open.
Yeah. You know what does smell good though?
What?
Pumpkin spice in the pumpkin spice latte.
It does, yeah.
Do you want to know a little bit about the background of the pumpkin spice latte? Because this is kind of an interesting story.
Yep, let's go.
Let's go. We've talked a lot about people that invent foods and corporations that invent foods and how those two things kind of mix sometimes. So, in 2003, in Seattle, Washington, at the Starbucks headquarters, there was this place called the Liquid Lab. What does that sound like?
Somewhere where people make drinks.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was a research and development laboratory where they were making new drinks. And there was a guy named Peter Dukes, and his work title was amazing. He was the Director of Espresso Americas.
Espresso Americas.
Yeah, like the Director of Espresso for the Americas. That's kind of an interesting title, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you worked at Starbucks, what would your title be?
The popularity of the Pecky.
That doesn't make any sense.
Popularity of the Pumpkin Patch Pecky.
Oh my goodness. So here's what happened with Starbucks. They had already developed some seasonal drinks. For the winter, they had eggnog and peppermint drinks, and they wanted something to fill out their portfolio for the fall. So they considered more than 20 different fall-themed lattes. And a lot of their market research had indicated that their customers wanted something like chocolate or caramel flavors, but Starbucks wanted to do something a little bit more exciting. So each time they did tests, they kept bringing back this one flavor that they had stumbled upon, which was the pumpkin spice. And at that time, they weren't calling it pumpkin spice. They were calling this drink the Fall Harvest Latte. So eventually, this guy named Peter Dukes brings into the Liquid Lab a bunch of pumpkins and fall decorations and some pumpkin pies. And they started mixing together pumpkin pie bites and sips of espresso coffee to see which one tasted best together, which flavors would work together the best.
Mm-hmm.
It took them like 3 months to nail down the recipe, but then when they thought they had it, they tested it out in 100 different stores in Vancouver and British Columbia and Canada and in Washington, D.C., and then a year later they rolled it out nationally to every Starbucks store, and there was an immediate 11% increase in sales. They had a big hit on their hands with the pumpkin spice latte.
Wow.
Do you know how many they've sold so far to date?
No. How many?
600 million pumpkin spice lattes lists since 2004.
That's way more than I can count.
That's a lot. That's almost 2 for every person in the country.
Well, I've only had one.
You've only had one, and we're going to talk about that. Do you know what else was going on in 2003 when the pumpkin spice latte was invented?
My cousin was born a year later.
That's like your one signpost for all of the different years that we look at is when was Bella born and how close was it to this date we're thinking about, right?
Yeah.
All right, so here's some other things that were going on in 2003. The U.S. went to war in Iraq. Do you know about the Iraq War?
No.
No? Also good. There were a deer and a horse that were cloned.
A deer and a horse that were cloned?
Cloned, yeah, that's right. A deer and a horse, both cloned in the year 2003. And also Jojo Siwa was born, who we talked about on a previous episode.
Okay.
Probably those things are not related, the cloning of these animals and Jojo Siwa's birth.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not, right?
Yeah, why is she on this list?
Because she was born in 2003. That's a thing that happened that I thought you might relate to, since we talked about Jojo Siwa when we were talking about the candy shop, being a kid in a candy store. You remember?
Yeah.
Well, you told me about it. I hope you remember.
Yeah.
So the pumpkin spice latte is back again this year. It came out on August 30th, rolled out nationwide to Starbucks stores. This year, there was a 50-cent increase in the price list. It is now $5.95 nationwide on average for a grande-sized pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah.
That's kind of a lot, $6 for a cup of coffee.
Well, yeah, that actually is a lot.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly what it is. It is coffee. It's a coffee drink. The website for Starbucks says, the pumpkin spice latte is our signature espresso and steamed milk with the celebrated flavor combination of pumpkin, cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove. So they leave out the allspice and the ginger. That's interesting.
Yeah.
It says here, enjoy it topped with whipped cream and real pumpkin pie spices. So interestingly enough, the pumpkin sauce that's pumped into the drink does not contain any actual pumpkin spice itself. The pumpkin spice is sprinkled on top of the whipped cream that's put on top of the drink, but it has something called natural flavors in it, which sounds very ominous if you don't know what it is. And in fact, that has led some people like John Oliver from HBO's Last Week Tonight to call it pumpkin-flavored science goo.
Ew.
Does that sound good? Does that sound like something you might want to drink?
Pumpkin-flavored science goo, no.
Yeah, pumpkin-flavored science goo was his way to say that there are lots of different compounds or chemicals that are considered to be natural flavors that are in the drink. And in fact, these are chemicals that mimic the tastes of the spices in pumpkin spice, but without the volatility of the spices themselves. So they can be like more shelf-stable and stay around for a longer time, and you can ship it and store it and do all the things you need to do to put it into an actual drink. So there are things like Sabian that mimics the taste of nutmeg, and eugenol for cloves, and then these things called cinnamic aldehydes that kind of give you the flavor of cinnamon. And when you put all of those compounds together with some things like cyclotine and vanillin to smooth and round out the toasty browned flavors that you'd get, it tastes a little bit mapley and a little bit vanilla-ish and a little bit pumpkin-y, and all of those spices mixed together, those compounds. In fact, there are like 340 different flavor compounds in pumpkin spice that you could taste, or, well, that you can sense if you have the right type of chromatography equipment.
If you have a brain.
Yeah, that's right, if you have a brain.
Unlike me.
Excuse me. So every year on social media, there are people that say that the pumpkin spice latte tastes different than they remember. But Starbucks has confirmed that they haven't changed the recipe since 2015, and that was the only time they've changed the recipe, because that was the year that they put real pumpkin in the pumpkin sauce instead of the artificial flavoring that they had before that.
I feel like everything from Starbucks is artificial flavor.
Well, in this case, the pumpkin is not. It's actually real pumpkin in the drink.
Wow.
Yeah, and it does a lot to flavor this coffee. I can tell you a little bit about my experience with coffee, Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am not a coffee drinker. You know this.
Yeah, me either. I think coffee is gross.
It took you a while to settle on that word.
It's because I like this one drink, but I don't like anything else. Coffee.
Okay. What's the one drink that you like? Oh, we don't want to give it away yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but we already gave it away, actually.
It's not unreasonable for you not to like coffee. You're an 11-year-old child. Coffee is more of a, I won't say it's a refined taste, but it's an acquired taste. It's a thing that most adults, I think, like. My father, your grandfather, he would drink a pot of coffee every single morning. He could not function in the least without it. We would, in fact, delay Christmas morning every year because we were not allowed to go and see what presents Santa Claus left under the tree for us until he went and made and drank his first cup of coffee. It was it was always the big blue can of Maxwell House. The tagline for that was good to the last drop, and he really tested that theory out.
I bet he believed it too.
Yeah, and he loved coffee, drank it all the time. I tried it once when I was a kid because I saw my dad drinking coffee and I thought I wanted to be cool and grown up like him. And so I remember this very vividly. We were in the hallway right next to the kitchen. I asked him if I could try some of his coffee. I remember the exact mug that he had. He handed it down to me and said, "Go ahead, you're not going to like it." And I manned up and I took a big swig of this coffee, and it was hot and bitter and dark and oily, and I did not like it at all, and I never developed a taste for it after that. I think that turned me off to it forever. You, however, had a different first experience with coffee, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened?
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it.
Wait, how old was I?
I don't know how old you were, but you were very small. You were less than 4 years old because your brother hadn't been born yet.
Okay, so we're just going to settle on 3.5.
Okay.
Okay, so one time, we were in the airport, and it was late at night, and we were coming home from vacation, and our plane was delayed.
That's right. And then what happened?
And I saw Mom's cup. Did she walk away or no? I feel like she did.
No, she handed it to you because you said, "I want to try that coffee."
So I tried it, and I said, I like this coffee.
Yeah, you said, "I like this coffee," and everyone around laughed because it was like 10:30 at night, and we were all very upset that we had to sit in this airport, and that was like the most comic relief that we had all day. The Orlando airport at 10:30, 11 p.m. is not a great place to be. But,
especially when you're talking about coffee.
Oh, that's right. I think there was a little bit of comedy in the fact that we were giving a toddler coffee at that late at night. But
you wanted me to stay awake.
I don't know why. I can't remember why we would have wanted to do that. But that's how these things go. You develop taste for things, and your tastes change over time. And there are things we like now, but we didn't like before, and vice versa. And I think we discovered one of those things today, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's in this cup that's sitting right in front of us, a grande-sized pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. Liz, do you want to hear about the nutrition in one of these cups?
I'm not sure I do.
Oh. I think that's the right answer. So a grande size, that's 16 ounces, a pint, more or less, has 390 calories. So that's kind of a lot. It has, get this, 50 grams of sugar.
50 grams
50
of sugar?
grams of sugar. It has 10% of your daily sodium intake.
Oh my gosh.
But it does have 14 grams of protein. So this is about the same as eating a protein bar. Not a great one, but it's more like, in nutritional content, it's more like a meal than a snack, actually. And I can't believe that sugar content. 50 grams of sugar. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's twice as much as the American Heart Association says that you should have in a single day. It is as much sugar as there is in 13 Chips Ahoy cookies, Liz.
Wow.
Or 96 M&Ms.
How do you know this?
Listen, there are ways to figure these kinds of things out.
Oh.
50 grams of sugar.
How many soda cans would that be?
It's like one.
Oh.
It's like one Coca-Cola.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
How do you burn 50 grams of
390
sugar?
calories and 50 grams of sugar?
Yeah.
How long would that take on like an exercise bike or a treadmill? I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe somebody will tell us on Twitter @JunkFoodPod how long it would take to burn off the calories in a grande pumpkin spice latte.
Yeah.
Look, nevertheless, people love these things, and the pumpkin spice latte, or the PSL as it's called, took over fall culture. It became its own acronym. I just said it, the PSL. That was the code that the Starbucks baristas would write on the cups because it's the acronym for it.
Does it say it on our cup?
It doesn't say it on our cup because they print the receipts now and stick them to the... You can see it stuck to the side of the cup there, just under the, the sleeve. Yeah. Starbucks baristas, in fact, very famous for writing interesting things on cups, mostly for misspelling people's names. My favorite story about Starbucks misspelling someone's name was the director of, I want to say, Star Wars Rogue One? I might be getting this wrong. Anyway, a gentleman named Gareth Edwards who directed a Star Wars movie on which there was a planet named Scarif, Scarif.
Mm-hmm.
He named the planet in the Star Wars universe after the thing that a barista wrote on his Starbucks cup when he went to get coffee one time, because he has a British accent.
Mm-hmm.
And he told them his name. When they asked, he said, it's Gareth, but he said it in his accent, so it sounded like Scarif, like that. And so they wrote Scarif on the cup, Scarif, and that's what he named the planet.
Scarif.
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 That's pretty good.
Oh, gosh.
The pumpkin spice latte even has its own Instagram and Twitter accounts, like for the drink itself. Now, here's a weird thing. When I went to go check those accounts, both of them were set to private, so you couldn't see the tweets or the posts on Instagram. And I think that might have something to do with the fact that Starbucks raised the prices this year, and there were some politicians that tried to use that as propaganda against their opponents to claim that one side had been a contributing factor in the increase in price of the pumpkin spice latte. And there was a big to-do about it. Here's a list of some of the other places that have pumpkin spice lattes, because it's not just Starbucks, even though they're the originator of the drink. You can get one at Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme, 7-Eleven, Wawa, Quick Check, even McDonald's. There are lots of other pumpkin spice snacks that we've seen too. Which ones have you seen? Do you remember?
Dunkin' Donuts, pumpkin spice, M&Ms. I mean, Goldfish.
That's right. This year there was a collaboration between Dunkin' Donuts and Goldfish crackers, where they made graham crackers that were flavored with pumpkin spice. We've seen pumpkin spice cookies. Obviously, we tried the pumpkin spice Oreos. There are pumpkin spice cakes and donuts and muffins, different kinds of cereals. I think Cheerios had a pumpkin spice Cheerios variety not too long ago.
Probably.
I've seen pumpkin spice potato chips, pretzels, yogurt. I think any kind of snack food you can find, up to and including meats, like Spam luncheon meat had pumpkin spice Spam not too long ago. Have you ever had Spam?
No.
Oh, Spam's great. Maybe we'll do an episode on Spam. Anyway, the pumpkin spice Spam was so popular that the entire run of it sold out completely in less than 7 hours.
Why?
Yeah, people are into pumpkin spice, and amazingly enough, I guess they're into buying Spam on the internet. Aren't you supposed to not want Spam on the internet? Isn't that like a thing?
I don't know.
You're too young to remember that. You don't even know what spam email is, do you?
What's that? Oh, yeah. Well, I know being spammed an email is.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you know spamming like from video games and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
From you, playing video games all the time.
That's true.
Yeah.
What do I spam when I play video games?
I don't know.
Liz, we said that the pumpkin spice latte, the flavor of pumpkin spice, is associated with the fall. Here's something else that's associated with the pumpkin spice latte, and it's being basic. Do you know what being basic is without looking at the notes?
No.
So no one's ever called you basic?
Oh, Christian has.
Okay, we'll use that. Why do you think Christian called you basic? What did he explain about being basic?
Can I go off the notes?
No, because Christian's not in the notes.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, so basic is sort of like an insult to people that are very normal and all do the same kinds of things in the same ways. So calling someone basic probably means that they wear Ugg boots and leggings or yoga pants. They have their hair in a messy bun. They're wearing an oversized hoodie and they're carrying around a pumpkin spice latte. So like...
That sounds like me.
That's...
Except I don't like messy buns. They hurt my head.
That sounds like me too, except for the leggings.
And you don't wear messy buns.
My hair's not long enough for a messy bun. But I have Uggs and I wear them all the time.
I do too.
Yeah. So, like, if we went to one of the farms near us on a weekend in the fall and we saw all the people that come in from Staten Island in their gigantic SUVs and try to go out on the hay rides and pick pumpkins and apples, if you looked at like 7 out of every 10 people on that hay ride, they'd be wearing Uggs with leggings and oversized hoodies or flannel shirts and messy buns and drinking pumpkin spice lattes. And that's why they're called basic people.
So it's an insult, right?
Oh, yeah. It's not a nice thing. It's not something you want to be called.
Which is definitely why Christian called me that.
Shout out to Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that again.
There's some very funny things that are associated with pumpkin spice lattes being basic. And if you go on the Urban Dictionary, you can find a lot of them. Urban Dictionary calls pumpkin spice lattes the blood of white girls and literally the whitest product on earth.
What? But it's orange.
Yes, I know. It's also called the only thing that white girls can even. And I think a direct quotation here from urbandictionary.com is something someone named Hannah would drink.
I only know one Hannah.
I love Urban Dictionary.
Urban Dictionary is weird.
Yeah, it is. And in this case, it's they're really capitalizing on the fact that nobody wants to be called basic because it is an insult. Everybody wants to think that they're the main character in their own story, that they're not normal or basic or generic. And that's true. Everybody's special in their own way, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. Even though there is this cultural backlash against pumpkin spice and being basic, the pumpkin spice latte still grades fairly favorably in market research. It performs equally well with both men and women across both low and high income brackets. And in some surveys that I've seen, just 6% of consumers say that it's overhyped.
I think it's a little bit overhyped.
Yeah, a little bit, about 6% or so.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like the basic people have won, haven't they, Liz?
Stop it!
Pumpkin spice lattes are really a masterpiece in marketing lessons. There's some things in there like the effects of seasonality and scarcity and the sort of compounding effects of social media depending on the time of year. The seasonal association itself is remarkable because you really can have a pumpkin spice latte literally whenever you want. There's nothing stopping you from making pumpkin spice or having pumpkin spice lattes anytime, but people seem to only drink them in the fall. In fact, speaking of marketing genius, there is a United Kingdom fashion retailer that's called Pour Moi.
Pour moi.
Pour moi, for me. They're paying people $350 to rate and review pumpkin spice lattes. So you could get a job and they'll give you some money just to drink these coffee drinks. It's kind of like a marketing gimmick to capitalize on the seasonal popularity of the drink, but it's working because...
Don't people do that with Fortnite? Like they play the game for people and then make money off of it?
Do you mean like sponsorships or do you mean like people will pay you to level your characters up and get good at the game?
Yeah, that.
I think it's probably both. So this is a little bit different, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're paying people for the popularity. I think it makes sense.
I don't think so.
Well, all this stuff really capitalizes on the fact that there is seasonality and scarcity and tradition, nostalgia and tradition that are tied to these spices in particular and the pumpkin spice latte. And Liz,
yeah.
Speaking of tradition, it's time for my favorite part of the show. Alyssa reads the ingredients. Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. Milk, pumpkin spice sauce, which is sugar, condensed skim milk, pumpkin puree, contains 2% or less of fruit and vegetable juice for color.
Well, that's why it's orange, like you said.
Natural flavors, annatto.
Oh, annatto, that's why it's orange.
Annatto, salt, potassium sorbate, brewed espresso, whipped cream, cream mono.
Mono and diglycerides,
carrageenan, vanilla syrup, sugar, water, natural flavor, potassium sorbate, citric acid, pumpkin spice topping, which is cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, clove, and sulfiting agents.
Sulfiting agents, good.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in this drink.
Yeah.
It's more than just coffee and some flavors, isn't it?
That's what I would have just done.
So, are you ready?
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
It's crunch time.
No.
No?
It's slurp time.
It's slurp time. Oh, because it's a drink.
Yeah.
Good job. Well, let's get to the rules of the game.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Junk Feud is a culinary clash to see which treat will be crowned the undisputed champion of snacks. It's a king of the mountain style battle in which the reigning champ takes on a new challenger each week to see which snack reigns supreme. Liz.
Yeah.
Our first ever undis-BOO-ted champion is Count Chocula.
Count Chocula.
Liz, I am so sick of Count Chocula at this point. I have been eating so much Monster cereal. I think I'm turning into a monster.
What?
Yeah, we had to give the boxes away. They were giant family-sized boxes. I had eaten as much as I possibly could.
I didn't eat any.
I think I might be like 50% bat-shaped marshmallow at this point. Hey,
yeah.
If eating too much of something turns you into a monster of some sort, like you know how being bitten by a werewolf turns you into a werewolf?
Yeah.
Which food monster do you think you would turn into?
Like out of the monster cereals?
No, like if you ate too much of something and you turned into it, but you were like a monster of that thing.
Oh.
Like what snack do you eat too much of?
Probably Oreos.
You definitely did eat a whole half of a sleeve of Oreos today. So what would an Oreo monster be?
Maybe like the Cookie King.
The Cookie King. Well, you can't be the Cookie Monster because there's already one of those.
Yeah.
So you'd be the Cookie King.
Yeah. The Cookie Queen.
The Cookie Queen. And what would your queendom be like? What kind of cookie castle would you live in?
I would live in an Oreo castle with one of those little fancy little umbrellas that you pop up stuck into the top of the cream.
Oh, like a like one of those tropical drink umbrellas? A little one of those?
But all the Oreos would be like lined up, so all the cream, and it's all like flattened out at the top, so it'd be like a bridge.
A bridge of Oreo cream with a Mai Tai umbrella in the top of it.
Yeah.
And you sitting on a throne made of what? Cookie crumbs?
No throne. No throne.
No throne?
Yeah.
Oh, you're very progressive, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, that's our champion so far, the undis-BOO-ted champion, Count Chocula cereal. Today, we're going to try the pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks, and we don't have any additional challengers today, but I did catch a whiff of that pumpkin spice Yankee candle, and it still does smell really good.
Are you going to eat it?
Am I going to eat the candle?
Yeah.
No, that's disgusting.
Oh, okay.
How much money do you think it would take for you to take a bite of a pumpkin spice Yankee candle?
Not much.
Not much? You would do it? You would eat the candle?
If it smells good.
Oh, that's horrible.
Then it probably tastes good.
I mean, it's probably non-toxic, right?
Are you serious?
The wheels are turning now. I have some ideas. Hey, all right. Listen, we rate our snacks using a tier list from sprinkles to fun dip.
Sprinkles to fun dip.
So snacks can be graded A, B, C, D, or F. The very best treats are in the elusive S tier ranking. No one has gotten an S tier yet, Liz.
Yeah, I mean, we're only on like the 6th week.
Yeah, that's true. All right. The following contest is scheduled for one serving and is for the undisputed, undis-BOO-ted championship of junk food. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it out. Take a look at that pumpkin spice latte that's in front of you right there.
Okay.
Packaging is a normal Starbucks cup. Nothing special about this at all.
Yeah.
Very boring.
Yeah.
You said
very
it looks
basic, if you must add.
Oh, that's good. Very basic. Nice job. It looks a little orangey, you said.
Yeah.
Probably from some of the annatto in there.
A little.
I guess it's a lot orangey.
Yeah, it's literally the color of a pumpkin.
You got a whiff of it when we first picked it up from the drive-in at Starbucks tonight.
Mm-hmm.
How did it smell? You said it was pretty overwhelmingly pumpkin spicy.
Oh,
Still?
Yeah.
Still smells. Let me take a whiff
It's not
here.
as bad now, but
I think it smells a little. Yeah, it's a little more like just like coffee, like a latte, like espresso.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, take a sip, see what you like. This is, by the way, for those of you keeping track, I don't know how anyone could, but this is our first ever pumpkin spice latte. I've never had one before because I'm not a coffee drinker, and neither are you.
good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Would you say that you like a disc coffee?
I like this coffee.
All right, let me try it out. Here we go.
Okay. Don't drink all of it.
I wanted to get a good swig because I don't like coffee, so
I think it's actually really good.
I've heard this story before. If you got to eat crap, don't take small bites, right?
It's not crap. It's
No,
actually
it's not.
really good.
It's good. Oh, I'm so surprised. I actually like it. Yeah. I think it's good. It's got the it's very sweet. It is intensely sweet, I think, obviously. There is a little bit of that pumpkin finish in there. The pumpkin spice comes through. It's all the warming spices. I think you smell them a little bit more than you taste them because the taste is still overwhelmingly coffee. I mean, there is espresso in there. And
what did we give Count Chocula again?
Count Chocula got a B, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, you're calculating your score for this already, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's right. Well, I guess that's important. So, I mean, the coffee flavor comes through, obviously, because there's espresso in the drink.
Yeah.
It has that thing that people say about Starbucks coffee. I can totally see it now. I've never known because I don't drink Starbucks coffee, but I think everybody that drinks coffee and likes coffee says that Starbucks is not their favorite generally because it sort of tastes burned or burnt.
Yeah, like crispy.
I could see that. Yeah, it's got a little bit of that over-roasted flavor, I think, and it contributes a little bit to some of the bitterness on the back end.
Yeah.
There's the usual oiliness of the coffee. I think that's probably exacerbated by the pumpkin sauce.
Yeah.
But...
What?
Liz, I liked it.
I did too. I think it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't expect to, and you had been dreading this.
I had been putting this episode aside for you don't even want to know how long.
I've been begging you to record this episode for like a week and a half, and we finally got to it.
I still didn't even want to do it today.
And look what happened.
It was actually really good.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked both by how good I think that it actually is, especially since there is some of that backlash and that overhype characteristic to it.
Is coffee supposed to make you like hyper?
Well, yeah. So
it's making me really tired.
Well, it's got caffeine in it, so it should be doing the opposite of that. Although it is late, and you had a long day today. You were up early for school. You had basketball practice after school. You did your homework. That's a lot.
That was hard.
That's a lot for a kid.
Yeah.
But I am so impressed that you liked the pumpkin spice latte. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I don't know why I think that's great. I shouldn't care that much about what you like, but
you shouldn't. You should actually kind of care a lot because that's coffee that I'm going to be asking for now.
Well, I mean, I think I'm proud of the refinement of your palate, I guess.
What?
The way that your tastes have changed and matured. I think that's nice.
Stop.
You don't... It's too much. It's just say, I like the coffee and move on.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, let's move on and let's hit the bliss point.
Yeah.
So what are your final thoughts on this week's treat list? We know that there's sugar, fat, and salt in this.
Much sugar.
A lot of sugar.
Yeah.
More salt than you would expect as well.
Really?
Yeah. 10% of your daily allowance of sodium.
Try it again.
Oh, you're going back for more.
Still tastes like coffee.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine so. So what are your final thoughts? What do you think? From sprinkles to fun dip, where do you rate the Starbucks?
B+.
Wow, a B+.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that caffeine is kicking in. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, so B+ from you. I would say, I think I'm going to give the pumpkin spice latte I think it's above average for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think B+, but I'll say, yeah, I would say it's a solid B. I would give the pumpkin, I did not expect this at all, but I'll give the pumpkin spice latte a B. You say B+. Now, the question, Lissa,
yeah,
is whether or not the pumpkin spice latte can uncrown Count Chocula as the undis-BOO-ted champion of junk food. What do you think?
I'd say yes.
You say yes?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, the pumpkin spice latte. Do I dare?
Come on.
Do I dare say that it's better than Count Chocula?
Dad, come on.
Oh my gosh, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm running this through my mind, and I think if tomorrow... Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I think if tomorrow I had to make the decision between eating a bowl of Count Chocula again and having a pumpkin spice latte, even though I'm not a coffee drinker and I don't really want to get into a $6 a day latte habit, Liz, I think the new
the coffee's kicking in for you too.
Champion of junk food is the Starbucks Pumpkin Spice Latte.
Yay.
Oh my goodness. Wow, what an upset. I was not predicting that at all.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I kind of was, though, because I'm kind of sick of Count Chocula.
Well, yeah, I don't think we should hold that against it. I mean, Count Chocula is still a good chocolate marshmallow cereal.
Yeah, I guess.
But today, on this day, the pumpkin spice latte reigns supreme.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hey.
What?
Want to talk about the Oreo rule?
Yeah, we still haven't found the Brookies.
I can't find these Brookie Oreos yet.
They're not even online?
I can't find them online. I can't find them in stores. I haven't seen them anywhere. But rest assured, as soon as I get them in hand, we will eat them on the show and we will talk about them.
Yeah.
And I have to ask, because I ask this every week, a very important question. Will it deep fry, Liz? Can you deep fry a pumpkin spice latte?
No.
No, I don't think so. Deep fried coffee?
Unless you deep fry the cup.
Oh, that would be horrible. I don't think so. Deep fried pumpkin pie? Perhaps. I think that actually might not be too bad. If you took like a frozen slice of pumpkin pie and you dunked it in funnel cake batter and then deep fried it and maybe put it on a stick.
Probably work.
Yeah, deep fried pumpkin pie would probably be good. I think you could probably make a pumpkin spice funnel cake. I bet that exists. They probably have those at, I'm almost certain that they have those at Disney World.
Yeah, most definitely.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Hey, it's time to check out the back of the box, a weekly segment where we play a little game. Alyssa.
Yeah.
Would you like to play a game?
I would love to play a game, Daddy.
That's so weird.
That one wasn't as weird.
Yeah, it's always weird.
Okay, keep going.
I'd like to play a game, Nene. Hey,
Okay.
we've got a new segment this week.
Yeah.
I like this one. It's called Hey Look Ma, We Made It, where Alyssa and I make a snack at home and then we feed it to her mom.
Yeah.
Liz, what did we make this week to feed the mom?
Pumpkin spice mix popcorn.
Yeah, we made our own pumpkin spice popcorn. Your mother very famously loves popcorn. Anytime we go to the movies and we get popcorn at the theater, if she's not there, we have to go and get a refill on the jumbo popcorn and bring it home to her because she loves it so much.
Same.
Her snack of choice at night is a bowl of popcorn.
Yeah, she probably actually has one right now.
She probably does, you're right. And I'm willing to bet that it doesn't have any pumpkin spice mix on it because your mom does not like pumpkin spice mix at all.
Yeah.
And my favorite part of Hey Look Ma, We Made It is that we're probably only going to make stuff that she doesn't like
Yeah.
just to see her reaction.
Sorry, Mom, if you're listening.
Sorry, Mom. So, Liz, tell me, how did we make the pumpkin spice? Do you remember?
We mixed. So first we put, I don't know exact measurements, okay?
Well, I can tell you the measurements. It was a 4 to 2 to 2 to 1 to 1 ratio of spices. Do you remember what they were?
Well, there was cloves.
There was clove, correct?
There was, the little berries.
The little berries were allspice, very good.
And that's all I can think of.
There was also nutmeg and ginger, and the big one was cinnamon.
Oh, yeah.
So we mixed those all together. We have an old coffee grinder that we used to grind whole spices, and you blasted all those spices together in that coffee grinder.
Yeah.
And then we made some popcorn and we shook it on top. What did you think of it?
Should I rate it from sprinkles to fun dip?
Well, sure, go ahead. You can rate it from sprinkles to fun dip if you like.
I rate it below average.
Below average.
Like C-.
C-? Okay. Yeah, I think I would probably go a little bit below average. We didn't do a great job.
I think we did a fine job. I just think it's like a weird
It's not
mix.
a good combination.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, what did your mom think of it?
Fun dip.
Yeah, she gave it a big fat F.
Yeah.
What were some of her choice quotations for the pumpkin spice popcorn that we made for her? What did she say it was? It tasted like...
I don't know.
A candle, just like you said. You were willing to eat a candle. She said that the pumpkin spice popcorn tasted like eating a candle.
Yeah, she did say that, but she was also being a little bit over dramatic.
Yeah, for sure.
She was gagging. That was over excessive.
It was still funny though.
Yeah. I love making Mom try food. I made her try the latte. The first time she gagged. The second time she was like, oh, it's not that bad. That's what I did too.
Yeah, that's true. And then the more you kept trying it, the more you liked it, which I thought was really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just can't believe we had another upset. The pumpkin spice latte, the undis-BOO-ted champion.
Undis-BOO-ted champion.
Of junk
Boo.
food. Hey, this podcast should reach you in excellent condition, satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. If you've got a question for us, you can write to the address on the label. That's junkfoodpod@gmail.com. Liz, do you have any parting thoughts for us before we go out?
No.
No? Because we don't have any listener mail today.
No.
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 Nothing.
No.
You don't have anything to say. Nothing's new. Nothing's exciting. You just want to go to bed.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's get on out of here then. This podcast has contained your recommended daily allowance of fun.
Fun.
For more, go to Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you choose to be social, and find us at Junk Food Pod. Stream with us on Twitch, watch fun-sized snack reviews on YouTube, buy merch on TeePublic, and fund us on Patreon at Junk Food Pod for exclusive bites. And catch all the snaction each and every week, wherever you listen to podcasts. Until we see you again, for Alyssa, I'm Mike.
Hasta lasagna.
Don't get any on ya.
Bye.
So basic.
Stop it.